Hello and welcome back to JW's Dugout. John here. So guys, as we inch closer to the World Series and my team is out of it again, I thought it would be kind of fun to kick off a little mini series showcasing my autographs of the world champion Atlanta Braves, specifically the two teams from Atlanta. Now, I'm currently deep into working on the 1957 Milwaukee Braves World Series champions, collecting all their autographs. So we'll save that for a different time. But for this mini series, again, we're going to just stay right here in the ATL and focus on the two World Series title teams from 2021 and then also from 1995, both since obviously moving to Georgia. Today, for this video, we are only going to be looking at the 2021 Braves, a team, to me, that quite literally defined resilience. All right, so let's set the scene a little bit and tell a little bit of a backstory. The 2021 Atlanta Braves were hanging around 500 for what felt like forever, for most of the season. They lost Ronald Acuña Jr. mid-season to a devastating injury. They ended up going through half a roster's worth of outfielders. And then somehow, they found lightning in a bottle when it mattered the most. So they were led by, of course, Freddie Freeman, the face of the franchise at that point, Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, Max Free, of course, on the mound, and kind of a makeshift outfield that looked like the dollar store version of the trade deadline. Alex Anthopoulos, GM, really worked his magic, picked up key guys that really kind of took the Braves to the next level, when September and October rolled around. And man, did it work. They ended up taking down the Milwaukee Brewers in the NLDS. They got revenge against the Dodgers from the 2020 season, taking them down. I attended the NLCS in 2021, and then they finished it off in Houston, taking down the Astros, who at that point were, in the midst of their dynasty. And it was the Braves' first World Series title since 1995. So I thought, like I mentioned, it would be fun to just take a look at some of the memorabilia and autographs in my collection from that respective season. Again, we'll take a look at the 1995 team, my personal favorite team in baseball history, probably next week. But for now, let's flip the camera around. We'll take a look at some cards, and we'll just kind of go position by position, tell little stories, a little bit of background on the players, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, guys, let's start off with a little bit of memorabilia. You can see some of the things in the background here. I've got a scratched off version of an Atlanta Braves World Champions lottery ticket. Of course, I lost. We've got the magnetic schedule from 2021. And we even have a 6-pack of commemorative World Series champions Coca-Cola, because it would not be Atlanta without Coca-Cola. So we got those there. A few other things in the collection. We have the NLCS game day program. We went to game 2 of the NLCS against the Dodgers that year. Another one from the regular season. This is actually from my birthday. I went to go see the Braves and Cubs. We didn't go to a ton of games that year because obviously young kids, but still was really happy to see a couple games during the regular season, and of course during the playoff run as well. A few programs and books. We've got the NLCS program, Braves and Dodgers. Love this one here. I picked this one up at Truist Park while I was there. I won't flip through and go through everything. I'm actually going to save that more for the nostalgia of the 1995 World Series team. But just to kind of give you an idea of what this looks like. So we've got that one there. And then we also have the World Series program, Houston Astros and Atlanta Braves. So love that. A few other key items before we get to the cards. We've got the Sports Illustrated special on the 2021 Braves and the title That No One Saw Coming. Some great feature articles on here on Freddie Freeman. Of course, Jock Peterson and all of his heroics. And then to stick with my newspaper roots, this was put together by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, a little book, special commemorative guide called Against All Odds, the Atlanta Braves' Improbable Journey to the 2021 World Series. See Dansby Swanson right there, front and center. So just a couple of great things to remember that year by. And now I would say let's just get into the cards. So the first thing that I want to show is, I'm not a big Topps Now person, but I did go out and purchase the corrected set of Topps Now commemorating the Braves. So there's the team. And so the interesting thing, this is the corrected version. There is an incorrect version floating out there that actually Topps did end up distributing before they caught the error. And what the error is, if you flip the back here, it says the Braves are World Series champions for the 4th time in franchise history and the 2nd since the club moved to Atlanta. The Braves displayed an all-around team effort and punctually defeated the Houston Astros in just 6 games. The club overcame significant injuries to the roster and prevailed as the deepest team in the postseason. Guided by a series filled with timely hits and brilliant pitching performances, the Brian Snitker-led squad is on top of Major League Baseball. Well, so the error that snuck out before Topps could correct it was they had Dusty Baker-led squad as opposed to Brian Snitker. So those are on eBay floating around for, some of them are big money. I don't know like what the true price is, but we'll just flip through these real quick. You've got Ian Anderson, rookie card, Max Fried, Will Smith, Tyler Matzek, who was pivotal against the Dodgers coming out of the bullpen, Charlie Morton, Travis d'Arnaud, Freddie Freeman, of course, Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Dansby Swanson, Adam Duvall, Jock Peterson, Eddie Rosario, and Jorge Soler, who some of you guys might remember hit the moonshot in the World Series, an absolute tank in Houston that really propelled the Braves forward. All right, so let's just swing through these real quick. Actually, 2 other items I want to show off because we're going through all the autographs. We've got this Brian Snitker signed photo, authenticated. I love this one. Put that up there. And then we also have, this one's a little bit bigger. This is Beckett authenticated Will Smith with the 21 World Series champ inscription on it. The final out of Game 6. I love this piece. So these both hang on my wall. Put this one back down here. And now we can just run through the cards very quick here. I don't want to make this video too long for you guys. Just want to give you a taste of the 2021 team. So we'll start off with Ian Anderson, his 2016 Bowman's Best. And Anderson was a rookie at the time, and he ended up pitching like a veteran. He threw 5 no-hit innings in Game 3 of the World Series when the Braves really needed it. They were really depleted on the pitching end of things, but he was kind of cool as a cucumber. And, you know, I'm not sure how his heart rate ever exceeded 65 because just stone cold. His career didn't really pan out. He's still floating around in the minors, actually came back to the Braves and was pitching down in Gwinnett. So we'll see if his career ends up picking up steam, but definitely a good memory of the 2021 team. We've got the ace, of course, Max Fried. This is his 2018 Stadium Club. Really Mr. Consistency. He slammed the door shut in Game 6 with 6 scoreless innings, and he earned the win that sealed it all. And this is the guy that, you know, you hand the ball off to when you want a big win. And you know, unfortunately, this year with the Yankees, he suffered an absolutely horrible outing. But he's a great pitcher. It was really sad to see him go when he left the Braves. We'll put him up here. Another guy, and I don't have everybody in a Braves uniform just because unless you get it in person, some of these guys just don't have officially licensed Braves cards that are, you know, have authentic autographs on them. And that's Tyler Matzek, and this is his Bowman first card from 2009, and what a postseason. Like I talked about, the guy was just unhittable, particularly the 8th inning of Game 6 against the Dodgers in the NLCS, where he struck out Mookie Betts and company. That's a memory that will forever stick in Braves folklore, if you will. So happy to have that one. Another guy who's currently on the Mets, was injured this past season, proved to be very pivotal to the Braves' success, was AJ Minter. This is his 2018 Bowman Chrome. He came in whenever things got dicey and just kind of blew people away. So happy to have him. Another guy, Luke Jackson. This is 2016 Topps Chrome. Of course, he's in the Rangers uniform. Luke Jackson's a roller coaster at times, but he got big outs and took his fair share of heart attacks along the way. Braves fans kind of aged about 5 years per appearance, but he still had some shining moments. So there's that. Another guy who started his career as a Brave, then went to the Pirates, and came back toward the tail end is Charlie Morton. And kind of a big game pitcher. This is his 2011 Topps Lineage autograph. And he was an anchor for the Braves and actually broke his leg in Game 1 of the World Series. Got hit with a comebacker, and he still struck out another batter before walking off. Just super, super gutsy. Some Willis Reed level toughness right there, if I can hark on my New York Knicks for a second. And Charlie actually did sign a week contract with the Braves to retire this past season. He made the final start of the Braves' regular season in what ended up being a lost season. All right. Let's go with, how about Jesse Chavez? His 2023 Topps, the ageless wonder. Feels like he's played for half the league, but in 2021, he really gave Atlanta some serious innings when they needed some stability. So happy to have that. That's an in-person auto. A couple other guys to round out the pitching staff of the World Series roster is Dylan Lee. This is his 2023 Topps Gold. He actually made a start in the World Series, believe it or not. We've got Chris Martin, another in-person auto on a 2020 Topps. Drew Smiley. Yes, he was a Brave for a short time. This is his 2012 Topps Chrome rookie card. And then another guy who I was sad to see didn't pan out, ended up being traded to Kansas City, had some arm injuries, and that's Kyle Wright. This is his 2019 Bowman rookie card auto in a PSA 9. I wanted him to do well. I wanted him to have a great career, and time will tell if he ever has the ability to come back, if he can stay healthy, but definitely sad to see. But these are some arms that played pivotal in the Braves' success. All right, let's switch over to the infielders real quick. We'll start off with, the guy all Braves fans love, even now that he's a Los Angeles Dodger, and that's Freddie Freeman. This is his 2018 Topps Tribute, the captain, the face of the franchise. He hit 300 with 31 home runs that year, and his Game 6 home run was basically the cherry on top for the Braves and his Braves career, kind of the perfect way to go out before, heading west. So was sad to see him go, as most Braves fans were. Another guy, Austin Riley, down season this past season, but this is his 2022 Topps Tier 1. And 2021, I think, was his breakout. I mean, he hit everything in sight and really came up clutch all postseason. There's the future of Atlanta Braves baseball, went on to sign the big contract. He just needs to stay healthy and show that consistency. So we'll put him up here. Another guy is a fan favorite, even amid, kind of a down season, is Ozzie Albies. I love this with the photography of Topps Stadium Club. This is from 2019. 2021, he was the spark plug. He was the switch hitting, base running, energy ball of chaos. Kept the dugout alive even when he wasn't getting hits. But always have a soft spot for Ozzie Albies. All right, let's see. Dansby Swanson. Who could forget about him? Atlanta's own Dansby Swanson. This is his 2016 Bowman Chrome. Local kid, World Series hero. His defense was elite, and the home run in Game 6 and just everything that went into it. Again, another guy who was part of the core who left, is now with the Cubs, signed a huge contract, but a lot of good memories with Dansby. All right, we'll fly through some of these other guys real quick before we hit the outfielders. Orlando Arcia, people have a lot of strong opinions on him, but he was part of the bench. This is 2015 Bowman Chrome. I believe this is actually his first year, yeah. And then I always butcher his first name, Eri Adrianza. This is his 2010 Bowman Chrome. Didn't do a ton. He had some bright moments, but kind of a little bit of an unsung hero on the bench, and provided Snicker with some flexibility when the injuries piled up during the season. And every championship team needs glue guys like this. So this is him in his Giants uniform on his first Bowman Chrome. All right, let's switch over to the outfielders. We'll run through these rather quick. We'll start with the 2018 Gypsy Queen of Adam Duvall. Power bat, kind of a cannon arm in the outfield, quiet demeanor. He ended up leading the NL in RBIs. His grand slam in the World Series blew the roof off Truist Park. Just fantastic for the Braves that season. Obviously, his career has kind of gone downhill quite dramatically, but really came up big in key spots. Another guy who came up big throughout the entire postseason, especially the NLCS, where he was named the MVP. This is him in his Twins uniform, but the 2016 Topps Tech, Eddie Rosario, kind of the king of clutch that series, turned into Babe Ruth for basically 2 weeks straight. Every time he swung the bat, it felt like magic. So really happy to have that one. How about Jorge Soler? This is 2022 Topps Tribute. This is the World Series MVP. Hit 3 massive bombs, including, like I talked about, that absolute moonshot that left Houston orbiting somewhere over Texas. And then, of course, who could forget Jock Peterson? I'm glad to get these in Braves uniforms. These are actually really tough to come by, both the Soler and the Peterson. This one goes for like $60 or $70, which is crazy for a Jock Peterson auto. But who could forget the pearls in 2021 and the swagger and all the vibes, as the kids say, that he brought. He brought so much energy and excitement to the team. And when Jock got hot, Atlanta was able to go on that run. So really happy to have him in the collection. And then another guy, I know this is a Panini Contenders from 2017. I don't normally collect Panini, but Guillermo Heredia with the sword, the dugout hype man. You probably remember him more for his plastic sword celebrations than any stat line in 2021, but really had some leadership on the club. Another guy, this always cracks me up, Terrence Gore. This is 2015 Topps Chrome. Yes, he was on the World Series roster. Blink and you might miss him, but if you saw him, he was probably stealing second base. All right, let's shift over to the catchers and one other key card, and then we'll kind of close it out. How about Travis d'Arnaud? And this is him in his Phillies uniform in the 2009 Bowman. This is a guy who I think will be a manager in the future. Veteran presence behind the plate. He called great games, handled the rotation beautifully, and even popped a key homer. I think it was in Game 3 of the World Series. So happy to own this one. And then lastly, and disregard the numbers there, this is in a sleeve, is William Contreras in his 2021 Bowman's Best. The young backup who kind of really got his feet wet in a championship environment, ended up being traded to Milwaukee as part of the 3-team trade that brought Matt Olson to the Braves. And he's gone on and flourished, obviously, playing in the NLCS with the Brewers right now. And he learned from one of the best. I mean, I think d'Arnaud had a big impact on him, and he gave the team some pop when called upon. And last but not least, I don't have the entire coaching staff, but I do have Ron Washington in the 2021 Topps Archives. This is the glue guy. This is the guy who, conducting infield practice, third base coach extraordinaire, was a father figure to so many players on the team, including Ozzie Albies and Ronald Acuña Jr. when he was healthy. Made such a profound impact on the Braves organization. So happy to have his autograph. I want to try to, I obviously have the 25 or 26 man roster and, excuse me, and, the manager and the third base coach. I want to try to get everybody on the coaching staff. Same for the 95. Some of them are really, really hard to come by, but really happy to own this Ron Washington. And guys, that's going to do it for the 2021 World Series champion Atlanta Braves video, a team that, really wasn't supposed to be here and ended up on top of the baseball world. And so I'll wrap up this mini series during World Series week when we dive into my all-time favorite team, the 95 Braves. That one's going to be a fun trip down memory lane. That was my team. That was, I was 8 years old when the Braves won in 95. And man, did I love that team. All right, so that's going to do it for today. I really appreciate you guys for stopping by the Dugout. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe if you already haven't. And we will definitely catch you guys next time. Have a good one.